Ẹ mà lẹ́ níbẹ̀ ń wo onílé lóko. Ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Hello everyone, it's Aderunke again. I hope your day is going well. Today, I'd like to differentiate ku from cool so that they are no longer confused for each other. Ku is different from cool. So I found that if people want to write statements like eku, it's because of the way that we say it. It's because of the way that it. If you're a native speaker, the way that you combine ku and odu, you know, for anybody who is not aware, they might think this is in fact what it would look like written. Eku odun is wrong. It's eku odun. This is how it should appear in writing anyway. In speech, because we Yoruba people like to join words, we like to, combine words and even shrink single words, it would sound like eku odun. This can be combined. Quodun. So if this is combined, this and this would be one word, and this would be removed. So if I were to rewrite this, it would be, you would combine this and this, you make them one word, and you remove this second u. So it would be quodun. That is another way to write it. But to be honest, it's not really popular that ku and odun would be combined and it would be kodun. In speech, yes. In writing, it's not necessarily as popular or as well accepted. So, eku odu, this is how to write it. And this is the Yoruba, you could say, version of the Happy New Year or Happy New Season or Happy Festival. Eku is what it sounds like. Eku is what people are saying, not Eku, not this. They're not saying this. They're in fact saying this. Eku odun, eku yedun. When we come, because there are two vowels, faweli, there's a faweli ending the first word, and a faweli starting the other. Sometimes I can understand why there would be, misconceptions, I suppose. Also, it's not happy. It's not really Happy New Year or Happy New Festival. When you say Eku Odun and you're saying, Happy New Year or Happy Festival, you're not necessarily saying happy. There's no happy involved. The Yoruba way of thinking is different. These are completely different languages and cultures. So I will tell you what we're saying when we say Eku Odun. We're not saying happy New Year or happy, but we are acknowledging the new year or the festival. Also, I've seen this as well for the Yoruba, you could say, equivalent of happy birthday. Oku ojo ibi. I've seen this. It's wrong. It's oku ojo ibi. If you do say it like that in writing because of the two vowels. One is ending this word, the other is beginning this other word. If you say eku ojo ibi, then this would sound like cool, but in that case, you would be verbally combining this with this. So it would be sort of okay. Let me use this as an example because this is supposed to be the wrong statement, right? This. If you do say oku ojo ibi and you combine this and this, you remove this, you make this and this one word, removing this, and you say ku ojo. If you say that in writing, that would be okay. If you want to put that, if you say that, then that would be fine. Eku ojo ibi, because verbally, a lot of people would not have the patience to say oku ojo ibi. Some people just say oku ojo ibi, oku. So, which is okay, but it's not as permissible to do that, to exclude the u, in writing. This is how to write it properly. Oku ojo ibi, and again, it's not happy birthday. There's no happy involved. Let me now differentiate ku from ku, so that you know why the mistake can't be made. Essentially, ku suggests that something is not. So if I say inoku, I would be saying the fire is not, the fire went off. Ku, when you expand it like that, when you prolong it like that, suggests that something is. So ku, mi, if you again want to revert to the lesson on tones, on tone marks that I did in February, ku, something evaporates. It just goes like that, into like fire, like this candle, the way the flames just, or like even something just goes anyway, just disappears into thin air, basically. So ku, but so ku is not evaporated, gone. Ku u suggests that something is. You're now prolonging it. You're sustaining it. So instead of evaporating, re, ku, instead of evaporating, is existing. It might go, but it would also return. Or like, even not necessarily. For certain things, like the New Year, for instance, it's not a one-time thing that you just have one New Year and that's it. Even if the New Year ends, another one begins. The New Year ends, another one begins. But for certain things, not necessarily. Some certain things are not cyclical, like birthdays or festivals, but you would still use ku for them. Eku oro niyo, eku this, eku that. Things that you don't necessarily want to see anytime soon. So, but anyway, ku, this is me just trying to revert to the tone class, but what you should focus on really is the last syllable of each word, if you will. And this is going into the background, the history, the spirituality of words, really, the significance of words. I explained it in the tonal video. I don't want to do the overanalyzation with this one, but if you just pay attention to the last syllable, re, something is being prolonged. It's not evaporating. Ku, just sharp ku, it's no more. Evaporated, gone, dead. Ku suggests that something is being prolonged. So if you say ku, you're using that to acknowledge something that will occur, or something that is occurring, or something that has occurred. So for some things, it would be cyclical things, like, things that, have occurred, and things that are expected to occur, like festivals and birthdays and other kinds of anniversaries. For some others, it's just, something that has happened. It doesn't really have to happen again. When you prolong ku and you make it cool, you suggest that whatever you're referring to, especially whatever noun comes after, will occur, like ojoibi, which is, birthday, like odun, which is New Year or festival, like what else? Ode, maybe somebody went out to a social function and you greet them and say, I can't wear yeah, something that will occur is occurring or has occurred. So they visited a function. Eku ode. When you're speaking, you tend to combine, because I find that many words that come after ku, because they tend to start with vowels. Ojo bi, odun, ode, ìnáwó, ẹkú ìnáwó, ẹkú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, things like most words that come after ku anyway, when we are, offering greetings for acknowledgements for certain things, many of those nouns, birthdays, anniversaries, this and that, tend to start with vowels in the Yoruba language. So I find that people just combine eku odun, just because two vowels, a vowel is ending the ku, another vowel is starting the other. It sounds like this. It sounds like ku odun, but in that case you would be combining instead of this, but it really is this. Ku something. If you say eku odun, if you say this, it doesn't make any sense. It's like die New Year. Even the air would not make sense. There would be, it just wouldn't make sense anyway. I greet you for the doesn't even make sense. I was trying to say maybe it would be, it really doesn't make sense. So it really is this. Cool suggests that something will occur, is occurring, or has occurred. And like I was saying earlier, cool is not happy or good, or a lot of the things that people tend to translate. I mean, the English language and the Yoruba language are different, and you can't really force one into the other or subdue one into the other, especially the Yoruba language. The Yoruba language is sort of on a league of its own, that although you can find equivalents in other languages for certain Yoruba words and phrases, it's better to also recognize that in and of themselves, those Yoruba words are not what the English counterparts are, or other languages counterparts are. So cool, when you say oku ojoibi, you're not saying happy birthday. You're just saying, I acknowledge your experience of this occurrence, of this, your birthday. Is an acknowledgement greeting. It's not a happy, it doesn't necessarily have to be happy. Is I acknowledge your experience of this occurrence, whether it will occur, or it is occurring, or has occurred. And the pronoun that you start with would also matter. In this case, you can say ku ojoibi, ku ojoibi, ku ojoibi. If you can just make that extra effort to let the last syllable sound, ku ojoibi, ku. I know that it sounds like ku ojoibi, but ku is really what it is. Like I've said over 100 times now. I acknowledge your or our experiencing of this occurrence, or experience of this, or our experience in this occurrence. Your experience in your birthday, I acknowledge it. It's not happy. When you don't need to attach any sort of morality or feeling to it. Let people feel how they want to feel. It may not always be a happy birthday. It may not always be a happy festival. Of course, the expectation is that it would be. For all these things, they tend to be happy. But maybe not so much birthdays. A lot of people feel sad on their birthdays. Festivals tend to have a generally happy atmosphere. But as Eku Iriano, I acknowledge your traveling, the traveling that you did yesterday, or Aku Iriano, if I was with you as well, if we went on that journey together. We don't need to attach a a pre-existing expectation to it, because it may not always align with. If I say happy birthday, then you just have that. It has to be a happy birthday. Depending on how you feel, it may not be happy for you, but I'm acknowledging it. So cool is to acknowledge. It's not happy. It's not. If I say ekaro, well, let me not combine now. I'm starting to combine eku aro. So just so that you know what I'm talking about. Eku aro. Aro is morning. Or eku osan. Ekasan if you combine. Ka ku and osan. But eku osan. It's not good morning. It's not good afternoon. It's acknowledge your experiencing or your experience of this morning. Or I'm acknowledging your experience of this afternoon. I'm not automatically assuming that it is a good one or a happy one. I'm giving you space to express how you really feel about the afternoon instead of just saying good. Sometimes the afternoon is not good. It's very dismissive of feelings when you say good morning or good afternoon. You may then say how are you today, but you've already assumed that it was a good morning. So especially in an office setting, how am I supposed to tell you how my morning really is then? Once you said good morning, and of course I've said good morning, if I say, well, it's actually not a good morning for me, then you would roll your eyes like, oh my goodness, I'm just greeting this colleague. I really can't be bothered with the story of your life. So it can be quite dismissive to start greetings with happy day, happy this, happy that, or good this, good that. It's quite dismissive of feelings. In the Yoruba language, we don't attach any morality to it or any feeling to it. We just acknowledge it. So we give space for you to, in fact, express how you feel about it, which of course can be subjective. It might be a good morning for me, it might be a bad morning for somebody else, and some other time it might be good for me and bad for them, so we leave that space. So the take-home lesson is don't confuse ku for cool when you're writing. Even when you're speaking, at the back of your mind that you're not saying ku, because ku is, evaporate, die, go. If I say otiku, if I'm referring to a human being, I'm saying the person is dead. If the person is older, I won't say oh, I'll say one, one tiku, If I'm talking about, maybe, light, tiku, the light has gone off. So just suggest that something is. So in the back of your mind, just realize that it's not quite cool. It's cool, but if you're combining, if you're shrinking in speech, then it's permissible to say eku odun, eku. But in that case, you would be combining though. It wouldn't be at that point. It wouldn't be a standalone word in your head. It would be a combination, a contraction with whatever noun comes after. So that's that. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your support, and bye for now.
Ebi lóòró nílé ìyálóde gbèrè ní ń bọ́ ṣe gbọ̀rọ̀ mi yẹ̀wò bí Olódùmarè ẹni àbáṣe ni ó sí láyé mọ́ alátẹ̀lé ń bẹ ní òde ọ̀run òun àbí àbòjì tí ń jágúrege igbó ìdásá bí ẹ̀kú ẹ̀ní ẹlẹ́wù ní sòwò àpamọ́bà ní oníṣẹ́ mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ orí ìlú sàṣìjẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ní òkú mi lóríṣẹ́ fàyà kí n láyà kọ́dẹ̀rọ̀ ibà àdújẹ́ ní àwa ní ojú ẹjẹ́ gbogbo tí ń ṣe bí ìbànújẹ́ ọkọ mi ó sì bọ́ gbé àwọn ọmọ ilé ọ̀jẹ́ akálẹ̀sẹ̀ ìtàgé ní ọmọ tẹ ìyá bí ìrí ọlọ́dẹ wo òní dáròde ẹ wá bá wa sí àwọn òṣèlú ìgbàsẹ̀ èèyàn ọba adi lórí ẹni òrè.